Calling all units. I'm going in.
Man, being 6'1", can you imagine?
It is the dream to be 6'1".
I'm 6'1".
I'm 5'11", but I tell people I'm 6 foot.
Man, being 6'1", great. You know who else is 6'1"? Darius Garland. One of the best point guards in the NBA. Dare I say a top 5 point guard this year? So I have Steph and then Luka. But Luka is such a caveat that I'm like, well, is LeBron a point guard? Now he is,
Yes.
kind of.
Mhm.
But was he a point guard in year from 2003 to 2018? No, not really. So Luka, I'll consider him a point guard. And then I have Ja. Then I have Trae Young. And then
Garland.
I have Darius Garland. The first thing you'll say is, what about James Harden?
Yeah, what about James
What
Harden?
about James Harden? And James Harden, do I trust James Harden? That's the real question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just in general, do you trust James Harden? Because, like, there was always the debate where it's like, do I trust James Harden in the playoffs? But now it's like, do I trust James Harden at all?
Period.
Yes.
Will James Harden come this year and do his thing? And I don't know. And the same thing with Dame. Like, what do I trust Dame? With Harden and Dame, such a weird year for them last year because Dame obviously was hurt, came in. He looked terrible in the Olympics.
He looked really bad.
Terrible. I think it was quad or hip or something.
It was abdominal pain, which is a very, like, weird injury to have in general.
Yeah, because you're like, you're fine, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what's the problem? And he really, like, fell out of the rotation during the Olympics. Like, Booker, Levine, Drew Holiday were all much better. And maybe it was the style of play, but, like, generally speaking, he looked bad. Dame's probably going to, like, prove me wrong. That's the Dame thing. James Harden, I don't know. It just depends. What do we expect from the Sixers in general? How will him and Joel Embiid mesh? How will they mesh, period, with everything? Is he even going to be the same? Because I think he's on a slight decline right now.
Yeah, which isn't even like a controversial thing. He's getting old. That's just what happens.
I think he's like 32, 33 now. Like, he's just an older guy. When he was with the Rockets, he played every game. He played like 40 minutes a game. So, like, the expectation of him not to decline a little bit is kind of crazy. All that to say, Darius Garland's going to be better than him this year. This is my prediction. Darius Garland becomes top 5 player in the league.
Top 5 player?
Sorry, top 5 point guard.
Okay.
I'll slow down. Top 5 point guard. He is going to, like, inherit the point guard role, or point guard title. Point guard title. Sorry.
Of just like super, like a playmaking dude.
Just
like
a playmaking point guard, makes the right passes. More of a traditional guard. Because that's also a thing. It's like James Harden's so untraditional. Luka's so untraditional. Trae Young more traditional. Even like Steph is so untraditional. I think he's going to become like back to the traditional Chris Paul, Steve Nash sort of point guard.
Old heads will love Darius,
Old
except
heads-
when he shoots threes, but everything else they'll love it.
Yeah, Darius Garland, okay, here's what I'm looking at. He's going to lead the league in assists this year.
Okay.
He was
see that.
fourth last year. Or no, he was sixth. He was at 8.6 last year. With the addition of Donovan Mitchell, hopefully it's not too ISO heavy and he's able to just get quick dimes to Donovan Mitchell. Having the lob threats of like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is just like a cheat code. With this take, people are going to look at me and say, well, Garland's more in like the little mellow ball, the Fred VanVleet, De'Aaron Fox, Drew Holiday, Halliburton.
Markelle Fultz.
No, he's above all of them.
Yes.
Also, honorable mention, I have not mentioned him yet, Kyrie Irving. I just don't know what to make of him anymore. So
Kyrie, I think Kyrie and Chris Paul, for different reasons.
Yeah.
Kyrie as in he's going to be galaxy braining the entire season.
Right.
And Chris Paul is just, dude's old. He's going to be 37
I
this
just
year.
don't know what to make of a lot of the point guards in the league right now that aren't like Ja and Trae Young. And I know what to make of those two. Darius Garland, top 5 point guard next year. And it's not even that hot of a take.
No.
He should have won MIP. Or him or DeJounte Murray.
And while Darius is leading the league in assists, his old teammate, Colin Sexton, is going to be leading the league in scoring.
Oh.
Book it.
Book it. They could have been on the same team.
They could have been.
What? Why would the Cavs give up a guy who's going to lead the league in scoring? What's worth trading?
Yeah. And honestly, Sexton, He's going to shoot 38 times a game. He's going to shoot 42%.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just
going to get to 35 points a game.
35. The leading scorer last year, Embiid at 30 points a game. Easy to beat that.
He's so
You're
easy.
shooting 38 times a game.
Because who else does he have? Who else do they have to even score next year on the
Just
Jazz?
Laurie. That's
Lauri
it.
Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen was good in Eurobasket. Like,
Yeah.
whatever was going on this summer, he looked good.
Sexton is he's gonna go into Utah. It's gonna be basically, I'm trying to think of a good comp for like what this is going to look like. The only thing I can think of is like when Marcus Thornton went like absolutely
Okay, in New Orleans.
berserk. Not in New Orleans, in Sacramento. Where like I was in the headspace of like, oh my gosh, this dude is the best shooting guard in the league because
Right.
he averages 20 a game. Sexton is way better than Marcus Thornton. I'm not trying
Let's
to
get
compare.
the one thing
Yes,
straight.
he's way better. But I think there is going to be there are going to be super analytic people that are going to see Sexton scoring 35 a game on terrible efficiency, and it's going to be good stats, bad team, and then there's going to be the casual fans that are going to be looking and just being like, is this guy the best player in the league?
Right? Best score equals
Yes,
best player.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll have a crazy, like, I can see him, if nothing else, like playing in Utah, not the best for your market value, right?
No.
As far as like, you're not going to sell the most jerseys, even though your name is cool, Colin Sexton,
Yeah.
but he could have a big Instagram showing, like Instagram highlight showing, where it's like, Colin Sexton scored 60 tonight,
Yeah.
and just like highlights, like how's the highlights just posting that? So that could be great for Colin.
No, I think he's going to have a crazy year. He's going to get a bunch of people are going to be really mad he doesn't win most improved player.
Can you imagine someone scoring 35 points a game and not even getting an all-star?
I'm trying
That's
to think
like Monta Ellis
that's
style.
Monte, or even like I think when Beal really scored a ton, it was
Oh,
either
yeah,
that he
that's
didn't
right.
make an All-Star team or he didn't make All-NBA. I think he
It was
didn't make the All-Star team.
He was averaging like 28 a game.
Yeah.
He didn't get that.
Simple fact, Sexton is not going to make the All-Star team in the West. It's not going to happen unless there is a plague or an injury
Yeah.
hits every single team.
Yeah. And honestly, thinking back to Monta Ellis, it was like just reading people just talk about Monta Ellis. He should be an all-star.
It'd
Like,
be like, man, why isn't Monte an All-Star? He's led his team to like 15 wins so far this
he
season.
averages 25 a game. And that's a point in time where like no Warriors games were on TV ever.
No.
And like his second best player was like not even David Lee at that point. Like David Lee wasn't there yet. I'm trying to think of
Maybe Darrell Wright.
Darrell Wright, yeah, Beedris, maybe CJ Watson a couple years.
It's one of those things where he has a bad team around him, and it's still Monte's fault.
It's still Monta's fault. But also just watching him average 25 a game, he had the best first step. There was such a Monta Ellis hive in online NBA circles.
They wanted, I mean, people want him on the Bulls so bad.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing where it's like if you put Derrick Rose and Monta Ellis together in 2011, it's like you will beat LeBron.
Yeah, he'll beat LeBron.
Yes.
2 6'3" uber athletic guards who not particularly great passers.
Not great passers, not really good defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a
they were gonna score
backcourt.
50 together.
That's a backcourt for recipe for championship.
Yeah, no, it's like Joakim Noah will just clean everything up.
Yeah.
And then we'll have like Keith Bogans, maybe, guys. Luol Deng, clean it all up.
Yeah, you have you have Boozer clean that up.
Carlos Boozer, every time Monta Ellis misses rotation, he's going to block that. He's going to block that.
The best thing is going to be every time Monta Ellis misses rotation, Carlos Boozer will also miss that rotation.
Just clear line to the basket every time. Honestly, we could do a whole thing about Monta Ellis and
Yeah.
being traded to Milwaukee and the Warriors fans just absolutely
Booing Lacob and
booing Joe Lacob. Joe Lacob coming out and be like, we got the first pick overall like 4 years ago. His name's Andrew Bogut, okay? Australian, massive guy, great screen setter, can block shots. We want Monta! We want Monta! They're like, oh, also, by the way, we have this other 6'3" guard. His name's like Steph Curry. He's a really good shooter. His ankles will not hold up,
Yeah.
but
if his
like,
ankles don't hold up,
care.
we'll trade him.
We'll trade him and get Monta back.
Yeah.
There was such an infatuation with Monta. He was perfect for the Bay. He was perfect for the Bay area.
And
Yeah.
just like a perfect player for kids because
Yes.
he's small. It's like basically what Steph was before, but he was not as famous as Steph, but like little guy,
Yeah.
ball hog, and yeah, he just played.
Yeah,
he
like-
played hero ball 24/7.
That's the guys I play with at the YMCA. They play just like Monta Ellis, and they also play just like Colin Sexton,
Yes.
which is why he will be averaging 35 points a game this year.